But like, just like people today are completely addicted to their smartphones, and they're like, you see young couples like who should be gazing into each other's eyes, like in love at restaurants and things like this, and they're just like looking down at their phone. I'm like, I want to go over to the table and just say, look at each other, please, and talk to each other. Anyway, if we're doing that to our phones now, what do you think of the likelihood that people are going to be with their implants plugged in to web consciousness all the time, engaging in virtual conversations with whomever, engaging in watching movies online when no one knows, or, the possibilities are endless. It could be an incredibly fun thing for people to do, and it could also be an incredibly distracting thing for people to do. But the one thing that you can be sure of is it will take us out of the real and put us into this virtual world. So let me put my screen share back on here and just move right on through this again. So, the rest of the dreams of the transhumanists, pharmaceuticals, that'll, make you live forever, cloning, stem cell technique, designer babies, and then combining genetic manipulation with things like 3D printing. If you want to grow yourself a replacement liver because you drank too much, or a replacement heart because you did other bad things, other body parts, the sky's the limit. And organic 3D printing is going to be a big part of our future, as far as we can see. Nanotech and, everything else that goes along with it. So now, but again, our biological transformation is only one small part, well, a big part, but only one part of the larger transformation that we human beings are going to be experiencing as a result of this transhumanist era that we're moving into, the transhumanist stage of humanity. So let me talk about that, because this is really key. There are a lot of technologies that are driving this change right now. These are things that, again, have been important to me for quite some time, and I'm sure many of you have been on top of this. Any one of these factors here, any one of them, would have the capability to have completely turned human society inside out even 50 years ago. And I want you to stop and consider that they're all happening now, all at once, all of these changes at one time. There's never, ever been anything remotely like this in all of history that we are dealing with right now. So we talk about hardware, that is Moore's law. In other words, the idea that computer hardware has continually been improving measurably, for generations now. Charles Moore was an IBM executive who in the 60s noted that the leading number of, let me turn this screen share off, the leading number of transistors in an integrated circuit kept doubling every 18 months or so. So from 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32. Well, we're now in the, I think, millions, billions. I actually don't know what the lead number of transistors happens to be. It's an unbelievable, ridiculous amount. So what that has done in terms of hardware alone, just give our transistors, our integrated circuits rather, far greater capabilities, our computers far greater power. But Moore's law applies not just to integrated circuits. It really it's used to talk about computing in general. And our computing hardware is so vastly greater than it has ever been. And it continues to improve. So let me go back here. Artificial intelligence, been talking a little bit about this. Essentially, we are on, when you've got these skeptics of AI, I'm actually kind of amazed by them, because they'll say like these most, to my mind, ridiculous things. Well, the leading AI is not much smarter than a mouse. We've got nothing to worry about. Yeah, and that was actually totally predicted by all the AI experts. So we started out with AI that was lower than the level of an insect, and it's been slowly going up at an exponential level. And human level AI is absolutely anticipated within another possibly 10 years, maybe sooner, maybe a little later, but it's going to happen. And most of us are going to see it happen. That is AI that will pass the Turing test. In other words, an independent human interrogator of that algorithm will not be able to tell if it's human or artificial. That's the Turing test. And we're going to get to that level. And once they hit that level, The wide-scale prediction is that they're going to very likely surpass that and achieve what Kurzweil has often called a godlike level of intelligence. Well, whether they will do that or not, I don't know, but and even if they don't achieve consciousness in quite the way, let me get this, that we do, it almost won't matter in my view, because they'll have the capabilities that will vastly outstrip our own, and they will be running our society in ways that we are no longer able to run it, right? So that's really the key. All right, so let me go back here and share this with you. Nanotech, robotics, I'm not going to go into the detail of all of these technologies. 3D printing and scanning, DNA mapping, brain mapping, implants for your body and your mind, your brain. And then other types of technologies, population profiling. In other words, web algorithms that'll read your email, that'll read your web history, that will understand your purchasing history through Amazon and everything else that you do, your GPS tracking you that way. It will be absolutely possible, if it isn't already, for an algorithm to know your personality better than you know your personality in certain critically important ways, better than your mother knows your personality. All right. And no, it won't necessarily know every deep, dark little secret that we've all got, but it's going to know our behavior in ways that we will not even be able to understand.